and then all of a sudden DPS shows up, and then your son is gone.
Yeah. They closed my case, and then a few days later, I get knocks on my door.
And so if Helene wasn't bad enough,
Yeah.
they got to hit you when you're already vulnerable and on the edge.
They know that I'm here by myself doing what I can myself for two other human beings. He's in foster care an hour, at least an estimated an hour and 45 minutes away.
And right before I pulled in here, you just got a piece of mail.
I did.
And the gist of that document basically says that the judge just has decided it's in the best interest of Benji to stay in the state's custody until December 3rd, where you're where you're gonna have a preliminary hearing.
Correct.
Now, at the first preliminary hearing, you were not accompanied by an attorney.
No.
You were alone.
I was alone.
And did you ask for an attorney?
I did.
And you were denied.
I filled out the paperwork. It was given back to the judge, and the judge, or the circuit, or the clerk's office, 2 days later, called me back and said that the Judge Bowers, denied my request.
And that's because they counted the Social Security your son receives
that follows my son
as income for you, which then disqualified your ability to retain state-appointed defense. And the craziest part is you're not receiving those funds. Protective Services is.
They go to the foster family, plus I have to pay child support on top, plus I have to have a place for him to live, plus I have to have transportation to visit him 4 months consecutively, or I lose my parental rights.
So the income that you would have been using to create a rehabilitated home from this situation is now taken away. So they moved him 2 hours away.
Yes.
Knowing that you have car troubles, knowing that you don't have the money for a lawyer, they won't give you a lawyer, and they want you, when you're taking care of your mother, to now stop everything you're doing, get a full-time job, and then somehow be able to take care of your mother and drive 2 hours for visitation.
Classes and do this and do that.
Do you think it's possible to do all the programs they want you to do and take care of your mother and go get a full-time job and be able to maintain that job?
If it's doable, it'll be probably the hardest thing I ever do in my life, with having to take care of mom and still take care of myself so that I'm good.
Do you think they really are understanding the situation that they're putting you in as a mom?
They don't give a shit. They don't care.
And you've had clean drug tests, and they want more and more and more. It seems like when they make one line and they say, hey, come to this line and we'll give you your son back.
You got to step to this one.
And then the next one.
And then you got to take 20 more steps. Here's your new one.
It's never good enough, is it?
It's going to go past.
It's going to go past that Dodge Ram up there pretty soon.
It's going to go past that. You know.
We're on the other side of the mountain.
It's going to go down to the state line. It will.
And then by then, you know what they do? They've alienated you so far and drugging you through the mud so far that now they say, well, you have no established ties. And constitutionally, we have no obligation to reunite families with no established ties.
When you're singled out, you're alone, you're alienated. Who in their right mind would allow a child to go back to somebody like that? But they've designed it that way.
It feels like a boot on the back of your neck, doesn't it?
On the back of your neck, in your nose, in your jaw, in your chest, in your stomach.
And does that make it hard to do the right thing every day? Does it make it more difficult for you to do the right things for yourself and as a mother and for everyone that needs you? Does it make it any easier or harder on you, all this pressure and weight that they put on you?
Pressure and the weight make you want to crumble. I mean, for 8 years now, that's all I've had to be is strong. And I crumbled one time. Once.
After a horrible disaster.
After a disaster. And they're making me pay for that now. And I understand I'm human. I will make mistakes. I did make mistakes. I don't believe I need to pay to this degree. Period. End of story. You don't need to traumatize my son more, who's already been through enough. Because of his birthday, he should be in the 1st grade, because wherever his birthday falls. They did bump him up to 2nd grade, because He's amazing. Genius level.
He is.
I mean, he's amazing.
He sounds amazing.
They wouldn't let him take any of his toys, anything. They let him take one stuffed animal. One. That was it. He couldn't take his Legos. He couldn't take any of the food he likes to eat. And that was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was put him in that truck.
What do you think he was feeling in that moment? I know these are hard questions.
You could tell he wanted to just crawl right out of that truck, right back into my arms. He just kept pleading with me, please, Mama. Please, Mama, I don't want to. Please come with me.